Donald John Trump was born on June 14, 1946, in Queens, New York City. He was the fourth of 5 children born to Frederick Christ Trump and Mary Ann MacLeod. His father was a successful real estate developer who had built a fortune constructing middle-class housing in the boroughs of New York, which would later influence Donald's career path and ambitions. Growing up in the affluent Jamaica Estates neighborhood, young Donald enjoyed the privileges of wealth. The Trump household was strict, with an emphasis on achievement and success. Frederick Trump was a demanding father who taught his children that life was a competition to be won. Mary, Donald's mother, was a Scottish immigrant who maintained traditional values and high standards for her children. As a child, Donald displayed a confident and assertive personality that sometimes got him into trouble. He was known for his competitive nature, whether in sports or schoolyard disputes. By his own later admission, he once gave a music teacher a black eye because he thought the teacher didn't know what he was talking about. His bold personality and tendency to push boundaries concerned his parents. When Donald was 13 years old, his parents decided to send him to the New York Military Academy, hoping the disciplined environment would channel his energy in a positive direction and teach him to control his aggressive tendencies. The decision marked a significant turning point in his life. At the academy, Donald thrived under the structure and hierarchy. He excelled in baseball, football, and soccer, and gradually rose through the ranks to become a captain of the cadets. The military school environment reinforced his natural competitive instincts while teaching him the value of discipline and authority. Teachers and former classmates would later recall his determination to be recognized and his desire to win at everything he attempted. After graduating from the academy in 1964, Trump attended Fordham University in the Bronx for 2 years. Seeking greater challenges and opportunities, he then transferred to the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania, a more prestigious institution known for its business programs. At Wharton, he studied real estate and finance, subjects that directly applied to his father's business. In 1968, he graduated with a bachelor's degree in economics, ready to enter the business world and transform his father's outer borough real estate company into something much bigger. After college, Donald joined his father's real estate company, Trump Management, which focused primarily on middle-class rental housing in New York's outer boroughs. Though he started under his father's mentorship, Donald quickly demonstrated that his ambitions extended far beyond the family's traditional business model. He was determined to make his mark on Manhattan, the epicenter of prestige and wealth in New York City. In 1971, Donald was named president of the company while his father became chairman of the board. With increased authority, he began pushing the business in new directions. His first major independent project came in 1974 when he obtained an option on the Penn Central Transportation Company's yards on the west side of Manhattan, though this particular venture wouldn't immediately bear fruit. Donald's true breakthrough came in 1976 when he identified an opportunity that others had overlooked. The once Grand Commodore Hotel near Grand Central Terminal had fallen into disrepair, mirroring New York City's broader financial crisis. Where others saw decay, Trump envisioned possibility. He negotiated a complex deal that included unprecedented tax abatements from the city and partnered with the Hyatt Corporation to transform the hotel. The renovation of the Commodore into the gleaming Grand Hyatt Hotel marked his emergence as a developer with vision and negotiating prowess. Throughout the 1980s, Trump rode a wave of debt-financed expansion. His crowning achievement was Trump Tower, a 58-story skyscraper on Fifth Avenue completed in 1983. The bronze glass structure, with its distinctive step design and lavish atrium featuring pink marble and an 80-foot waterfall, embodied Trump's aesthetic of ostentatious luxury. It became both his corporate headquarters and his personal residence. In December 2017, Trump signed into law the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which reduced corporate tax rates permanently and individual tax rates temporarily. He appointed 3 Supreme Court justices, Neil Gorsuch, Brett Kavanaugh, and Amy Coney Barrett, cementing a conservative majority on the court. His administration also rolled back environmental regulations, withdrew from the Paris Climate Agreement and the Iran nuclear deal, and renegotiated the North American Free Trade Agreement. Throughout his term, Trump faced unprecedented scrutiny and resistance. Special counsel Robert Mueller investigated Russian interference in the 2016 election and potential obstruction of justice by Trump, ultimately not reaching a conclusion on the latter. In December 2019, the House of Representatives impeached Trump for abuse of power and obstruction of Congress related to his dealings with Ukraine, though the Senate acquitted him in February 2020. The final year of Trump's first term was dominated by the COVID-19 pandemic, which claimed hundreds of thousands of American lives and devastated the economy. His administration's response, which included travel restrictions, economic stimulus packages, and Operation Warp Speed to develop vaccines, became a central issue in the 2020 election. After losing the 2020 election to Joe Biden, Trump refused to concede, claiming without evidence that the election had been stolen through fraud. His challenges to the election results failed in dozens of court cases. On January 6, 2021, after Trump addressed supporters near the White House, a mob stormed the U.S. Capitol as Congress was certifying Biden's victory. The House subsequently impeached Trump a second time for incitement of insurrection, though he was again acquitted in the Senate. After leaving office, Trump remained the dominant figure in the Republican Party. From his Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida, he continued to assert his false claims about the 2020 election while endorsing candidates and criticizing his political enemies. Despite facing multiple criminal and civil investigations, including an indictment in New York, Trump announced his candidacy for the 2024 presidential election. In a remarkable political comeback, he defeated Kamala Harris, who had become the Democratic nominee after President Biden stepped aside. On January 20, 2025, Trump was inaugurated for a second, non-consecutive term, joining Grover Cleveland as the only presidents to serve split terms. His expanding empire soon included 3 casinos in Atlantic City: Trump Plaza, Trump Castle, and the Trump Taj Mahal, which he billed as the 8th wonder of the world. He also acquired the historic Plaza Hotel in New York and launched Trump Shuttle, an airline service. His business approach was characterized by aggressive borrowing, bold public relations claims, and a talent for self-promotion that made Trump synonymous with luxury and success. By the early 1990s, however, Trump's empire was built on increasingly shaky financial ground. A recession, combined with excessive debt and management issues, led to business difficulties. Between 1991 and 1992, his Trump Taj Mahal, Trump Plaza, and Trump Castle casinos all filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. The Trump Shuttle also failed and was taken over by creditors. These setbacks could have ended his career, but Trump proved remarkably resilient. For years, Donald Trump had flirted with the idea of running for president. In 1987, he purchased newspaper advertisements criticizing U.S. foreign policy. In 1999, he briefly sought the nomination of the Reform Party. In 2011, he became the most prominent proponent of the birther movement, which questioned President Barack Obama's birthplace. These political forays enhanced his visibility but never materialized into serious campaigns. Everything changed on June 16, 2015. Descending the golden escalator in the atrium of Trump Tower with his wife Melania, Trump announced his candidacy for the Republican nomination for president. His announcement speech immediately generated controversy when he claimed that Mexico was sending drugs, crime, and rapists to the United States, and promised to build a wall on the southern border that Mexico would pay for. Many political experts dismissed his candidacy as a publicity stunt. Initial polls placed him in the middle of a crowded field of 17 Republican candidates that included governors, senators, and experienced politicians. Yet within weeks, Trump surged to the top of the polls, where he would largely remain throughout the primary season. His campaign style was unlike anything seen in modern American politics. He dominated media coverage with provocative statements and insults directed at his opponents, giving them derogatory nicknames like low-energy Jeb for Jeb Bush. His massive rallies attracted passionate supporters, while his unfiltered use of Twitter allowed him to communicate directly with voters, bypassing traditional media. Trump's campaign focused on populist themes that resonated with many Americans who felt left behind by globalization and distrustful of political elites. His slogan, "Make America Great Again," borrowed from the Reagan era, captured a nostalgic desire to return to a perceived better time. He promised to renegotiate trade deals, bring manufacturing jobs back to America, restrict immigration, and drain the swamp of Washington corruption. One by one, Trump's Republican rivals fell. By May 2016, he had secured enough delegates to become the presumptive nominee, completing one of the most improbable primary victories in American political history. The general election campaign against Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton was equally unconventional. 3 weeks before the election, the release of the Access Hollywood tape, in which Trump made vulgar comments about women, seemed to doom his chances. Yet on November 8, 2016, defying polls and pundits, Trump won key battleground states, including Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, to secure an electoral college victory, despite losing the popular vote by nearly 3 million ballots. Donald Trump was inaugurated as the 45th President of the United States on January 20, 2017, delivering a speech that described American carnage and promised to put America first. From his first days in office, he pursued an agenda focused on tax cuts, deregulation, restricting immigration, and reshaping America's role in the world. His administration moved quickly to implement a travel ban on several predominantly Muslim countries, withdraw from the Trans-Pacific Partnership, and begin planning for a border wall with Mexico.